Hello, I'm just graduating high school. I'm 18 years old, and I love cross country.
But you can't go back. You can't go back. They all want to go back. And
Okay. I've been depressed a little bit. I've had things.
enjoy the conversation just now.
Yes.
Do you think you're different as a result of hearing the conversation just now?
Yes.
So do you think your question's in a different place than it was when you first got here today?
Yes.
You think you can give that version of the question to us?
Yes.
All right.
I'm wondering why I'm not able to be completely joyous and happy and feel in the now.
What do you think?
I know there's a couple factors.
Trying to please a lot of people, for one thing.
I'm trying to not let them interrogate me with the emotion, with themselves, not get into me. I'm trying to feel myself in my own present state of self and feel the consciousness in my body and feel me, but it's kind of hard because every time I try to do that, there's people always there that's bringing me down and that are tearing me down.
What kind of things do they say to you?
What is it? Okay, the thing that's been happening recently that I've kind of just wanted to feel because my brother felt it as a freshman. There were two girls there were sophomores that just started that dated him because he had some common sense that not others had. And then after that, he decided, oh, I don't want it. I really don't want it. His name is Josh. He's really amazing. He's a really good guy, but he didn't want it. And then he just felt it wasn't for him. And then he just kind of branched off of them. He's a senior as me, and we're both twins. And he's amazing right now. He's one of the best people I know. He's better than me at cross country than I've ever been, and it's kind of scaring me a little because I've always wanted to be that good, and I've always been injured, and now he's amazing, and it kind of scares me a little because I want to be that good.
From what you've heard here today, have you been listening to us for a while?
Yes.
And as you listen to us here today, can you feel what we're talking about what's manifesting, how much stamina you have, how well you're competing, how much strength you have, what kind of speed you've got? Can you feel that aspect of it? But there's also a non-physical aspect of it that you have an opportunity to turn your attention to if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in a situation where there's a lot of keeping track of what is?
I feel like there's a lot of that because a lot of that I haven't been able to keep track of is living in the now and being.
So now go back to what you said when you first sat down, because again, you've got a fast mind and your mind has moved around a lot of things, and then we got on to your brother, and then we got on to your brother's experiences, and you've sort of taken on some of them, and you're listening to his advice, and in giving his advice to you, he's also telling you some of his problems, which you're sort of trying to prevent, and so there's sort of a jumble of things going on. But if you had the opportunity to talk to infinite intelligence, and you believed that you were talking to someone who really knows your heart and what you want and knows where you are in relationship to it, what would be the question that you would ask? Because you said, I'm not. What were your words to us? I'm not happy in my body. What were you saying? I'm not
happy because one, so I kind of want to be like my brother. I haven't been my brother. I'm not as fast as him. I'm not as smart as him. I'm not as cool as him because he gets along with the popular people, but he doesn't want to be popular.
Here's something that we want to give to you, and we're going to just take it easy and offer it to you easily and slowly and in a sort of pace that you can absorb it completely, because we really want you to hear this. Earlier we said, just because we're saying it with Esther's words and mouth and you're hearing it with your own physical ears doesn't mean you're really receiving it. But you could receive it. In other words, you could, as a result of what you've been hearing here, you could be in the vibrational state of being where you could really be in the receptive mode. So there is a possibility that you can really receive what we're going to give to you now. You aren't your brother, and you're not ever going to be your brother. You came with different intentions. But the difference between you and your brother, your magnificent brother, the difference between you and your brother is that you are going to approach this from a state of alignment, which will give you far more joy and ultimately far more success. Your brother has been rather good at controlling conditions around him. He's pretty good. Manipulation isn't the right word. It's more charisma, influence, finding his way. But this is the part that we really want you to hear, because there are a lot of people that are good at that. and a lot of people that aren't very good at that. But whether you're good at that or not good at that, it really won't take you very far. The making things happen through that kind of thought doesn't take you very far. Now, what we want you to feel, and we know that you're going to relate to this, you really understand this. You know, sometimes athletes call it being in the zone. You know that feeling of sort of giving everything that your body has to give, almost to the point that you can't give anymore. And then somehow you find some resource that gives you more, and all of a sudden it's like you're propelled into a whole other place. It's sometimes called getting your second wind, or getting into the zone, where you're just suddenly feeling almost a euphoria from this experience that you have. Have you had that experience?
I've had experiences where I feel just great, where I feel amazing. Like a couple of weeks ago, I bought this shirt where it has like C's on the side, and then it has like sort of a vortex at the top, almost like a jellyfish, and then it has 3 bubbles on the side and then 1 in the middle, and it shows a spaceman inside of it. And that shirt just kind of astonishes me, and it astonishes my mom. And my brother kind of thinks it's cool, and I think it's cool.
But what we're talking about in the mode of your offering, of your extending yourself physically. Have you had that experience where you have moved into a sort of supercharged phase where you actually felt yourself with more resources than you even knew you had?
I've had that. Well,
call it warp speed, or call it clicking into some higher power. And the fact that you've had that experience physically, that's what we're asking you to reach for here. It's a receiving of a broader perspective that will ultimately not only allow you to feel better, which is what you're really asking from us here, but it also will give you the energy to accomplish in a greater way than is usual.
But the thing that I'm worried about is hoping that nothing else will come back to me and nothing else will tear me down. Because I have a friend who's not been the best friend, but he's been a pretty good friend for a long time.
There's going to be tons of that stuff coming at you. But let's say that you are a force to be reckoned with, and you are moving towards someone, and they just stop you because they're bigger or stronger. But imagine that you're a bullet going toward them, and they can hold their hands up, but they're not going to stop you. And so we have the conversation about the unconditioned. You're talking about conditions, and you're letting what you think people think cause resistance within you that takes your power away. And that's the part that we want to help you to no longer do. Nobody can take your power away, but your thoughts about what you think they think will take your power away. So you got to make an end run around that. You've got to do different than almost everybody else does. You got to stop worrying about what everybody else thinks and care only about what your inner being thinks. And what your inner being thinks is about what you want. What your inner being knows is what you desire. Your inner being knows that everything that you desire, you can live. And your inner being will show you how to get ready, to get ready, to get ready, to get ready. But what it requires is listening to your inner being and not listening to the peanut gallery. If somebody is in their physical body, like your friends or like your brother or like so many people who are around you, and they are tuned in, tapped in, turned on. They've been meditating. They're all connected. They got source flowing through them, and they're holding you as their object of attention. And they are appreciating you because they're in the mode of appreciation. And you are experiencing what that feels like. Oh, it feels so good, and it makes you want to look to them for that. But it's a rare one that's doing that. And so if you get in the habit of looking to people for that, and most people don't have that, then you keep coming up short. You keep feeling disappointed because they don't give you what you're asking for, because you're asking for love in all the wrong places. You're asking for it from them rather than from your source, who will never let you down. So we love that you love and respect your brother so much. But you're trying to mimic what he does and feel like he does and walk in his footsteps will never give you what your inner being will give you, because your path is uniquely designed for you. His path is uniquely designed for him.
But the thing that he's done is I've been running for 5 years. I've been all right, but I've had injuries all 4 years. I've had to go to physical therapy 7 times, and this is my 7th time. And he just comes out of nowhere 6 months ago, is just amazing and just completely destroys everyone, beats me and destroys everyone on our team, and is it's amazing, but I don't know.
Did you hear us earlier asking our friend that when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want?
Yeah.
And so every injury makes your desire stronger. When you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And we want you to focus upon what life has caused you to build here, not upon the injuries that caused you to build this. Can you feel the difference? Every injury has made you ask in a stronger way. And because you've asked in a stronger way, your vortex is stronger than your brother's. But if you're stepping outside of your vortex so that you're just measuring your physical skills, then your height and your weight and your strength and your muscles all play a bigger factor than they need to. We want you to experience the fullness of who you are. So we have some questions, you very briefly.
Okay, so one thing I gotta say is you're an amazing person. You just took that out of me. I feel a lot better now, but the only one thing that's tricking me up right now that I really am slightly confused about, that you probably already know because I mean you know everything, is that a couple months ago, this girl that I just that I was talking to, she just came out nice to me, and my friend was just like, oh yeah, this person's cool and stuff, and she
we just have something that we want to say to you about that.
Yes.
So if you were interviewing for a job,
yeah,
most people who are interviewing for a job think that the person who's doing the interviewer holds all the power and gets to ask all the questions and gets to decide whether you are right for the job. And we always say, other way around, you are interviewing them to see if what they're offering is right for you. Same thing with girls.
But the thing is, she said she likes me, she said she would date me, but yeah, she doesn't date me, and it really...
Same thing with girls. If you are interviewing her, you're looking for someone true blue. You're looking for someone who knows what she wants. You're looking for someone who has some reasonable sense of what she is looking for. She is not the right girl for you.
But then why did you pretend like she is?
Because you wanted her so much to be the right girl for you.
But at first, I was taking in a point where I was just like, okay, she probably doesn't like me. I'm just gonna be friends. And then suddenly, right as she started liking my pictures on Instagram, she suddenly hit me up. And then I'm just like, okay. And she just asked a random question. But then the thing I later knew,
girls and boys can be cat and mouse, cat and mouse, cat and mouse. I like her, she doesn't like me. I don't like her, now she likes me. In other words, you can drive yourself crazy with all of that. Use your higher power. Use your higher power.
I get that. And I think now that I'm talking to you and you're giving me a real sense of life, a better sense, I feel like I'm able to let that off my shoulders and be me and not let whatever she did control me. And this season...
So here's how it works. When you hook up with your inner being, like you do sometimes when you're in your sport, when you hook up with your inner being and you allow that higher power to flow through you, you are attractive in ways that can't even be described or defined by other people, you see. And girls like you and they don't know why. Really good time for a segment of refreshment.